Hi, welcome. This is J&A Voices for Change on YouTube. These are my views, only my views, and my opinions, only my opinions. This is the board meeting. Talk about how wonderful they praise Lauren. And why would Lauren possibly leave a company that praises her so much? Listen to this.
But at the audience, and then Ms. Milano, if you could do the same thing from Ransom Mirage, welcome and congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you.
Everybody.
I think I served about all 8 years of my first 2 terms here. I've always enjoyed this group. I have a lot of respect for Lauren and her staff. Always worked well with them and look forward to working with them the next couple of years.
Thank you, Mr. Peabody. Milano.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the nice welcome. My name is Lynn Mulatto. I'm the newest council member to the city of Rancho Mirage. I have past municipal experience. I was 18 years with the city of Cathedral City, retiring in 2012 as the deputy city clerk and also part of RDA. So it's nice to be on this side of it. It's a new experience and a new chapter. So I look forward to working with all of you.
Wonderful. Welcome, both of you. So we've got a great organization leading the way in hydrogen cell, zero emissions technology, and we are looking forward to extending that, and you'll be a big part of that. And we have a great staff. So thank you for both volunteering to be on our board. With that, we move on to item number 6, which is approval of minutes from December 7th, 2022 from a joint board meeting. Is there any questions or comments, or would somebody like to make a recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve if there aren't any corrections.
And we got a
bottom of your screen. Again, please press *9 or use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. I do see one attendee that has indicated that they wish to speak, and that is Gina Lopez. I will add her to the queue as well. If there's anyone else that would like to be added to the queue, I will pause for a moment.
And Chair, while the clerk pauses, I'll read the admonition for the speakers. Members of the public may address the board regarding any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. However, no action may be taken on non-agendized items. All comments shall be limited to matters not listed on the agenda. Members of the public may comment on any matter listed on the agenda subsequently during that item's discussion. All comments, whether public comments in general, with regard to an agenda item, are limited to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vale. Edith, if you could go ahead and move forward.
Yeah, and Mr. Garcia, if you could also raise your hand so I can locate you on the attendee side and change your Zoom controls, I would appreciate it. Mr. Chair, I don't see Mr. Garcia, so I will move forward with Gina Lopez and change her Zoom controls.
Thank you.
So I am a driver at Sunline, and I'm just coming to the board because I have some issues that I've brought up multiple times, and I really don't know where to go. This is probably the last time we'll pursue the issue, but our announcements on our buses, on several buses, they're incorrect. They're announcing bus stops in wrong cities. They're repeating the same announcement more than once. Another thing is I have issues with the head signs. I know it's an ongoing issue, but it does cause confusion for the passengers, and sometimes with the lines that run so late, drivers forget to manually change them. And I mean, of course, we are responsible for changing them, but you know, when you're running 20 minutes late, you're just thinking to get the people on the bus and go, and it causes a lot of confusion. So this is why I'm coming to the board regarding this issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez, for your comments. Edith, is there anybody else that, or Mr. Garcia, that has come forward?
There is no one else on the attendee side. However, Mr. Garcia, we will pause for a few moments if you'd like to provide public comment. And Mr. Chair, I do not see Mr. Garcia on the attendee side.
Okay, then we'll move on from public comments and move on to board member comments. starting with Cathedral City and working our way down to the County of Riverside. Is there any board members that would like to bring up any subject or would like to speak or make a comment? Mr. Betts, sir?
Yeah, I just attended the hydrogen fuel cell conference and workshop on, was it Wednesday and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday, I can't remember. And just want to compliment the staff. It was very good. What was particularly good is I had the chance to meet people from all over, I guess it was the Western United States, and to hear what they have to say about their different transit agencies, and to see, you know, how much recognized Sunline is among everybody that was there and really leading the charge. So, you know, just compliments to everybody. Mr. Chair, you did a great job on the panel discussion. So
I appreciate Mr. Betts. Yeah, it was a good event. I'll let Lauren pretty much say a few words, and Joan, I'll let you speak. But we hosted the California Hydrogen Business Council, or the Sunline did, here in the Coachella Valley, and it shows why we're the leaders. So of not only hydrogen cell fuel buses, but the technology. It really showed the skill set that our staff has and how we are leading the way by just the conversations I had with board members from other agencies. Mr. Pena, I'll yield to you, sir.
Thank you. And I was going to mention the same thing. It was an excellent, not only
Live in-person board meetings, Mr. Betts, is the need. Right? Anybody oppose or abstain? Okay, passed unanimously. Thank you for all volunteering on your committees. And with that, we'll move on to item number 11, is discontinuation of emergency declaration and return to live in-person board meetings. Mr. Betts is the new chairman of the Board Operations Committee. I will throw this into your court. I know we had a lively discussion on it, so it'll be interesting, and Mr. Vale's here to help you.
They're just talking about.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, we did have a very robust discussion on this item. At the end of the day,
They're gonna go live meetings. Let's see if they allow us to attend these live board meetings.
The floor if you
Okay.
feel like you'd like to hear that. Otherwise, we ask.
Take a look at this.
We passed unanimously by the
If you had plans to leave an agency, let's hear her report, the GM's report.
Finance Committee, and so we don't need a second, but Mr. LaFleur or Lauren, would you like to say a quick word about it? Because it's exciting that we continue to get these kind of grants, and then it shows the work that's been done at Sunline, that people are willing to reinvest in, and why we're able to do this.
Yeah, let me just quickly, because we don't need to go through the presentation, but for those of you that are new on the board, this project always included these enhancements for further expansion. But at the time of the board's original approval of the project, we didn't have all the money and grants to do it. So we asked our contracting community to give us some expansion features as options. Since then, we've won both a federal grant, a low-no grant for $3.5 million that allowed for these alternatives to be included in the project. So we're merely coming back to let you know that we do have the grant funding that we need to do all of the enhancements, and these set us up very well for the future. And so that's the reason for this item today.
Okay, they set us up for the future. So it doesn't sound like she has any plans to leave.
And we can, for new, and if those of you, board member Mulatto, we'll get on your schedule to kind of catch you up with the capital program that Sunline has. But we did want to come back and let the board know that successful grant achievement has allowed for all the options that were presented in the liquid hydrogen station.
Thank you.
Doesn't sound like
Just,
she
I
has
thought
plans.
they need to be
Doesn't sound like she has plans to leave.
highlight, because it continues to support our goals, but without the grants and without the respect of this agency, we wouldn't be getting these kind of grants on a continual basis. So we have a recommendation on the floor from the Finance Committee. We don't need a second, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Does anybody oppose or abstain? All right, passes unanimously. We'll move on to item number 15, which is the approval of the fuel cell extended warranty agreement. Ms. Ross, this is yours also.
Thank you. It was also presented to the Finance Committee.
Of the JPA. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rail. With that, we'll move on to our CEO, General Manager, Ms. Skyler. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a quick update. And the first one is great news again, in connection with the omnibus bill, Sunline's public fueling station and expansion project. We heard a little bit about it in the item on the liquid station. Was chosen by Congressman Ruiz as one of his community project requests, and those are previously known in our language as earmarks. They're now have a new title, but same principle. That project was included in the final omnibus bill that was passed on December 23rd. So it's going to provide an additional $2.5 million of funding to the organization for hydrogen and hydrogen fueling. As you all know, Sunline is driving to be a provider of fuel to the open economy. And so this is just gets us one step closer. So we're thankful to him and his office for that help. As the chair mentioned, and we had board member Betts and board member Pena attend, we had not only a fuel cell workshop here, but we unveiled the STARS unit with SoCal Gas. It is on our property and operating. We're still in the testing phases, but this is exciting technology not being operated anywhere else in the world. That's being operated here. And for Ty, who hasn't been, we built a lot since you were here, Ty. So I can't wait to show you the campus. And for board member Mulatto,
Doesn't sound like she's planning to exit, huh? It talks about she's can't wait to show them. Why just listen to the language and you'll understand.
but we'll make sure you connect the dots to the things that we're talking here today by a visual look at some of the things happening on our property. But this is big.
She sounds like there's a lot going on in the background. You see, she's stuttering in all her conversations. Pay attention to the language underneath. It sounds to me that she's worried.
And this is big in the hydrogen economy. So we're really thankful to be chosen by SoCal Gas as a partner. And we were the host agency for this fuel cell workshop last week. We had transit agencies from all over the country, all the way to SEPTA, to Pennsylvania, which, as we all know, is a whole-fed state who is now looking at hydrogen. And so the work that we're doing is really having an impact, not just in the US and on North America, but across the world. We are really appreciative of our board members who attended that. And we had board member and chair Glenn Miller sit on a panel talking about board member perspective on zero emission. And we got so many comments from transit agencies saying that it was really great to see board members so connected to what's happening at the transit agency. And we just thank you all so much for being so involved in what Sunline is doing, not just in transit. Transit is our core mission, but also in our hydrogen program. So a big thank you to all the board members that attended, and a special thank you to you, Chair Miller, for coming and sitting on that panel. And with that, Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Okay, so
Thank you. It was a great panel. It's obviously a well-respected group that really sees what you're doing here and your staff is doing. So our hats off to you. With that, we're going to move on to item number 20 now, which is closed session. We do have a separate link for this. We do have 3 items.
okay. So let's look about what he talks about in closed session. The attorney, listen to this.
On and report out of closed session until our next.
This is important.
Adjourn to our next meeting in February.
This is real important. Pay attention to what he talks about that they're going to talk about in closed session.
So if we could get that done, Mr. Vale.
Thank you, Chair. I'd be happy to do that. We do have 3 items on today's closed session for the board. The first is a conference with special legal counsel with regard to one matter of existing litigation. That matter is listed in the agenda. Item B on the agenda is a public employee performance evaluation with regard to the chief executive officer, general manager position. And finally, also,
Did you guys hear that? Executive position, general manager's position. It talks about closed session, general manager's position. Listen.
we have one item of conference labor negotiator with regard to the same position, the unrepresented employee position of chief executive officer and general manager. Chair, if there's any members of the community who want to make a comment about any of these items, they can do now. If not, we're fine to recess into closed session. Thank you.
Edith, is there anyone out there that's just raise their hand.
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, with that, then,
We're still live.
okay, great. So Eric, can you report on a closed session for us, please?
I'd be happy to, Chair. We did have 3 items on today's closed session. The first was a conference with legal counsel with regard to one item of existing litigation, Hildebrand versus Sunline. We received a briefing from special counsel. You gave direction to special counsel. There was no other reportable action on that item. The other 2 items, public employee performance evaluation and conference for labor negotiator, you did not conclude. The board will continue those. It may call a special meeting with regard to those 2 items. And if not, those will be continued over until your February meeting. With that, that concludes my report.
Thank you. With that, we are adjourned.
Okay, so now all of a sudden, she's changed positions. She's going on to bigger and better things. Doesn't make any sense. The writing is on the wall. These are my opinions and my opinions only. This is Anthony from J&A Voices for Change, and change will be done slowly but surely, but it will get done. Have a nice day.